Hello, Bible readers. It's Tuesday, February 16th. We're reading from 1 Kings chapters 10 and 11, and then from 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and 3. In 1 Kings, we see Solomon in all his glory in chapter 10. We really see the best and worst. This is the hinge in 1 Kings. As my commentary says, it's an awe-inspiring review of Solomon's reign in all its glitter and glory. I like the idea of, as we read the 10th chapter, that's kind of a glitter filter put on everything that we read about. It sounds to me like, I had to read that F. Scott Fitzgerald book, The Great Gatsby, and that was recounting the Roaring Twenties, and I was recently reading a book about the Vanderbilts. It sounds like recounting, the Vanderbilts accumulating all this wealth, or Andrew Carnegie, and how he, basically became the steel baron of the United States, or J.P. Morgan, and how he became the banker of the... At one point, J.P. Morgan was so wealthy, he bailed out the United States from a rush on gold because there was a gold standard. I won't go too far into it, but there was one guy richer than the nation. And so Solomon is that kind of wealthy. He is the nation of Israel. He is the king. And so that's what we're reading here. All wealth is being concentrated right on Solomon. Is Solomon humble and wise? Some parts of 1 Kings make it sound that way. Or is Solomon ruthless and scheming and self-absorbed and greedy and vain? Yes, that too. Solomon is very human in that he has a saint and sinner, to be a Lutheran about it, about him. The mystery is that God would choose such a person and bless such a person so richly. It's also good news for saint and sinners like us. God's grace is able to overcome human limitations. God is free to forgive sinners. But then in chapter 11, we hear of the fall, Solomon's fall. Solomon is unfaithful to God, and so God ends Solomon's kingship pretty much just like that. And just so you know, it gets pretty rough from here for the tribes of Israel. Okay, into 1 Corinthians. Paul's letters have a typical shape to them, as many letters from this time period do. A salutation, a thanksgiving, and then comes the body of the letter. And so I didn't say much particularly about chapter 1 yesterday because I was talking about the overview, but Paul starts with a salutation. He then offers words of thanksgiving. And then as he gets into the body of the letter, he's speaking to divisions among them. And he's saying we're united because we all belong to the same God, Christ. We do not belong to our work or our possessions or our status. Because remember, he's speaking into a context that is very hierarchical, very socioeconomically separated. He's saying what brings us together and keeps us together, us, the wealthy among us and the poor among us, what brings us together and keeps us together is the crucified, risen Lord. This is quite a challenge for communities that have all kinds of people. That's why 1 Corinthians is so helpful to us, not just in Alaska, but Western societies that have all kinds of socioeconomic status, different ethnicities, different backgrounds that we're drawing on. His point is, don't judge one another. You're spiritually immature because you bicker and you're divisive. And so bickering and giving into division, he's kind of calling that an immature faith. He's saying you're acting like ordinary people. You're not acting like believers. Our differences give opportunities to love, and believers look for opportunities to love. So be Christ's love. You are God's temple is one of the last things we read in this section. What an amazing claim that is from a Jew who would have known the temple is the temple. And he's saying now you are God's temple. So be it. You're kind of a big deal. I am one with my God. My God is with us, all of us, at all times and in all places.